free kick. Up Sydney United last week. And 2 goals, Jack Armstrong on 60 minutes. And Sean Simmons on 95 minutes with pretty much the final kick of the game. Going to change things, but they're leading from the front. A lot of these senior members of this Sydney United side, but it's all hands on deck defensively at the moment as the ball's driven through the middle. It bounces away and Lachlan Scott has a shot. It still trying to be cleared. Eventually Nizic is able to get up and pluck it and then rather theatrically hits the deck to soak up a little bit of time and help his side get reset. So United push out from the back line. Nizic desperately trying to scurry across and keep it in. It is going to be a corner kick. First of the evening for Wollongong. Sydney United 58 have had the one set piece so far. Driven in there to the far side, headed powerfully as Littler came crashing through, but it was high and wide and never really put Daniel Nizic under any sorts of pressure. Taking their time to reset the visitors at the moment. The noise being made by the United faith, but also the Wollongong faithful. A lot of fans love the Wolves down these parts. I guess with talk of National Second Division as Kanyazumi goes down. Goes against Patrick Antelmi. A little bit heavy-handed from the goal-scoring centre forward. Yes, but with talk of a National Second Division, sides like your Sydney United, Wollongong Wolves, Melbourne Knights, South Melbourne, they're the sides that their ears prick up whenever there's that kind of conversation, whether it's in the media or whether it's coming out of Football Federation Australia. And now a free kick going the way of Sydney United. Picardus knocked down rather aggressively there in the centre of the park. Taking their time, push forward, but it's a poor pass and Kanyazumi intercepts. Picardus attempts to intercept again for United, but he can't, and they go forward. This is looking promising. Josh McDonald scored last week against Sutherland as he dances his way into the area. McDonald beats a couple of defenders, runs across field, and then gets it back to Stevenson, who attempts to get it back to McDonald, and it all kind of broke down, much to the exclamation of the Wolves home fans in attendance. Probably one of those opportunities to pull the trigger a little bit before, but wanted to try and find half an opening there. It didn't come to reckoning for the attacking midfielder. Was very, very good last week against Sutherland though. Josh McDonald has scored in back-to-back games and one of those goal-scoring midfielders that clubs so desperately love to have as part of their setup, part of their roster, part of their first-team squad. Here's Jordan Roberts. Pokes it forward here for Antelmi. Antelmi back to Tariq Mayer. And then Picardus goes into the area. The flag stays down as Roberts came racing through. And Wolves are able to get back and clear into touch for the time being. But they're still going to be under a little bit of defensive pressure here. I want to show some defensive resolve after that first goal conceded inside the first 5 minutes. Pushed up and headed around. McDonald tries to get his foot on the ball. He can't. Roberts can though, and deflected away. Ball in a pinball machine as it bounces from one team to another. Very difficult to hold possession in these very difficult conditions. Trafiro swings it back to the middle to Chris Payne, who might fancy himself. No, he gets dispossessed and slips over. Picardus there though, doing a wonderful job marshalling the midfield. Here's Yanni, who's a cultured midfielder. People remember him from his time at the Western Sydney Wanderers in the A-League, but he's also a rep of Ethnikos Asia over in Cyprus, in the Cyprus Football League over there. And that's very, very valuable, as is this run from Tariq Mayer. As he tries to pull himself back into the centre of the park. It's good defence initially. Takes the deflection, and United have two. Shot rebounded off the legs of some Wollongong defence coming back, and really left Hayden Duros with no chance to stop that as it deflected away from his valiant dive and bounces aimlessly into the back of the net. And trouble now brewing for Wollongong. They've had back-to-back wins, and it's going to take some real resolve here if they're going to make it three. And Devante Klut involved there alongside Patrick Antelmi. And the deflection sees Sydney United 58 bounce out to a 2-0 lead, much like they did last week. Took a little bit longer to establish that 2-goal advantage against Apia. Goals on 39 and 45 minutes. Today, this evening, inside the first half an hour, they have 2 goals. Probably put it down to maybe not 2 defensive errors, but a couple of mental errors for sure there by the Wollongong Wolves. Hard when you're playing in these kind of conditions, players losing their footing, caught out of position, make it a little bit more difficult. But as it stands, 2-0 to the visitors. Only 20-odd minutes into this fixture as well, so plenty of time for maybe a bit more pain for Wollongong as Duros comes out. He doesn't have a chance to pick it up, so he has to knock it almost over the grandstand here at Sir Ian McClellan Reserve. Roberts to take the throw in. It's a good one. He might get back on the ball here if he can combine with Tarek Mayer. Couldn't thread the needle. Decides to go on his own. He's been pretty skillful on the ball so far this evening. Picardis. Back to Blastelitsa. Woods goes to Picardis. He tries to push it forward. They do that successfully, United. Certainly on top, and momentum is being felt. They go to the veteran Jafiro. Jafiro goes to Tarek Mayer. Mayer forced back. He's able to link up here with Jordan Roberts, the right back. On possession nicely of the visitors. It's foreign to see them down in this lowly 9th position. It's a name, Sydney United 58, that's synonymous with success in Australian football, founded in 1958, thus their name, the success of some of the great names of Australian football that have come through this great club. And you can look at the State League years or NPL years, if you want to call it that, the days post the NSL. It's been very successful for them. Won the championship back in 2019 and a thrilling win at Combank Stadium against Apia Leichhardt, and had the success they probably would have wanted since that date, but they're putting in a wonderful performance here this evening as now Wollongong look to hit on the counter here through Leroy Jennings, and Jennings looking to link up with a couple of players. Decides to take it on his own. He's still got possession and the ball at his feet. Former Blacktown City man. Sent off against Sutherland, but that one-match ban did come in the Australia Cup against Waverley Old Boys. Guy Knight pushes forward to Jennings and can't keep that 1-0. We can actually. He'd first looked and might have just gone over the touchline there, but Wollongong slow position. Lachlan Scott now. And wings forward nicely. And this might be an opportunity kept out by Nizic. Just wasn't quite there. Was Peter Simonovsky maybe just half a yard back. Almost gifted a chance for him to bury one into the net, but first real attacking foray or successful attack we've seen from the Wolves this evening, and it's taken almost half an hour. Mayer tussling there with Guy Knight. Legs being caught up, and Guy Knight will win the free kick for his side. Dispossessed by the visitors, who have been very, very good. You can see a real shift in mentality and class, and just the way they're set up from perhaps 3 or 4 weeks ago. Miro Blastelitsa, a name that is familiar with a lot of NPL New South Wales fans. He spent time at Sydney United 58 before. He's had success there. just on an interim basis at the moment, but he's the perfect man to walk back in. He knows what the club's all about. He knows that the systems and the style of football that's going to work in this competition in a tough physical league. The whistle from the referee goes, and it will be going the way of Sydney United 58. So he's doing his best to try and turn things around. It's a funny old league, the NPL New South Wales. We've spoken on other broadcasts about the League One, with the fact that the top 4 sides can get through, and there's that excitement that the League One has. But in regards to this NPL division, it's the pinnacle of football here in Greater Sydney and across New South Wales. We're seeing that with what's happening in the Australia Cup, with success that sides have had this year, but also in previous years. Now breaks forward for Chris Payne. The flag goes down, or stays down, and despite lashing it with the right boot, it's high and wide, and Wollongong can breathe a collective sigh of relief and try and reset with a goal kick. Littler and Kanyazumi not disagreeing, or not having a disagreement, I would say, but certainly a breakdown in communication between the two centre halves. Rose restarts play now. Happy just to retain possession, sit on the ball here, United, and try and pick out a man in space. Doesn't occur on this occasion. It's a long drive from Daniel Nizic, goes all the way back to Hayden Duros. Drives forward, looking for the run there of Simonovsky. Gets a head on it, but nothing more than that. Now Chris Payne is causing a few little headaches for the Wollongong defence. It just takes a little bit of deflection. Trafiro gets it, goes back there to Devante Klut, and unfortunately for United, it does break down as Antelmi was offside. They take the free kick and restart straight away here to the Wolves. With a rare foray into the final attacking third of Sydney United 58. Centre Stevenson, the young left back, and takes deflection. Nizic will be able to come out and takes it well, much to the delight of the visiting fans. Inazumi balloons ahead forward. Leroy Jennings going to get on, he can't do so. All just evading the central attacking midfielder. It's not evading Wollongong now, though, as Darcy Madden gets a rare touch. Littler. Inazumi as Stevenson spreads out wide. Looking to just expand their width a little bit here, Wollongong. Try and stretch that defensive line, stretch the midfield of United that do like to play fairly compressed, and this ambitious ball, a through ball, is going to evade everyone and eventually trickle over the byline. And a goal kick is how we'll restart play at the end of Sydney United half. It's Jordan Roberts. It's able to surge through. He's a quick and nippy wing back, but pass doesn't find its desired target on that occasion. Kanyazumi can't get the better of Trafiro. And Telmi. Looks like it was a handball against Guy Knight. Was down by his side, and the referee was happy with that. Stevenson. Now to Sujimura. And Knight, as they try and boss that centre of the park, Wollongong. It's evaded them so far this evening. Kanyazumi. Now McDonald. Skillful and classy on the ball, and now goes to Jennings, goes down. Ball still stays there with Lachlan Scott, and Scott drives forward, and it's going to evade absolutely everyone out there. Trying to put a bit more power on the ball was the centre forward with the wet conditions out there, but timing probably just a little bit mixed up there between Lachlan and Darcy Madden. coming through on the right-hand side of midfield. So Nizic to restart play here for the visiting Sydney United 58 side. It's a good clearance kick way up over halfway. Now it falls nicely for Chris Payne. Now this is more than half opportunity for United, but some good backtracking defence. Littler involved there as well, despite some appeals by United 58 for a forthcoming free kick. Zumi puts a Knight under pressure, a heavy back pass that is collected pretty well in the end there by Hayden Duros. Didn't become a goalkeeper till the age of 14, Hayden. He was a defender before that and decided to make the permanent move between the sticks after having some success at junior levels. So had a scholarship across at Nottingham Forest, who are in the headlines, and the 24 hours away from there. Their championship player final against Huddersfield Town. Lachlan Scott battling there with Lastelitsa, and he clears into touch. Talking of the Australia Cup, it's a big game for Sydney United 58 coming up. This forthcoming Wednesday, they'll take on rivals Rockdale Linden at the Sydney United Sports Centre for a place in the round of 16. Great to see two heavyweights of the NPL New South Wales competition lock horns. And they'll be hoping for a bounce back, Rockdale Linden. They were thoroughly outclassed this afternoon at home at Rockdale Linden Sports Grounds. Place that's been a fortress in recent years for them, but Blacktown City, who are having a marvellous season, for a few little blemishes, one of them coming against this WollongongWolves side. It's Blacktown far too good for them that afternoon. There's a heavy challenge there against McDonald, and looks like a card might be coming out. It was a real lunge there from the attacking midfielder, and he's going to go into the referee's book. Just a bit of injury work being needed here for one of the Sydney United 58 players that's down. We have a brief delay in proceedings. There's a few Australia Cup matches still to come in this forthcoming week. The Willoughby Dailies taking on Wollongong Olympic. Wouldn't that be something for the ages if the two Wollongong sides were to clash in the round of 16? If Wollongong Olympic could get past the Willoughby Dailies FC. Well, Northern Tigers and Manly United, that's an intriguing game across there at North Turramurra Recreational Reserve on Wednesday night. So if you live on the north side of the city and you're keen to see some good football, talking of good football, here's Simonovski coming through, getting one-on-one, great backtracking in defence by Sydney United. For a moment there, thought he might have been able to get one-on-one and maybe reduce the deficit. Wasn't to be. They have to go all the way back. Wollongong shows the defensive presence of United 58 this evening. Leroy Jennings. And, trying to link up with Lachlan Scott. He goes down. Free kick is the call. And card's going to come out now as well. So Trafiro goes into the book. 32-year-old veteran, over 150 appearances for Sydney United 58. Glenn Shapiro spoke about how well he played last week. He really was that man in the centre of the park that just marshalled the troops. Very strong on the ball, some good distribution, but equally as good defensively as well. As you can see there, he does really throw himself into challenges and can really clatter into challenges as well. But he does go into the book on this occasion, the 32-year-old vet, and a free kick for Josh McDonald. And Wollongong, can they do something from it? Headed away to the edge of the area. Sujimura gets it. Pulls it back to Stevenson, who swings the ball in to aim for that far post. The wind holds it up. Look, the heads forward. Now for Lachlan Scott. Beats a couple of defenders. Lachlan Scott, wonderful work and a wonderful goal. That is right out of the top drawer. Goal number 7 for Lachlan Scott in season 2022. And that's probably one of his better ones. Skip past 3 would-be defenders and then pulls it back. And Daniel Nizic was all at sea against the skillful ball movement there of the centre forward. He's played A-League before, and that's exactly why when you see class like that. So they pull one back towards the back end of this first half, and Wolves are back in business now, 2-1. Don't want to say it's come against the run of play, but haven't had a whole lot of quality possession, I guess you would say, in this first half, Wollongong. But the last 5 or so minutes probably have swung momentum somewhat. And this ball will be ushered across the byline for a goal kick. So Antelmi scoring after 3 minutes, then a deflected effort about a quarter of an hour or so later at Sydney United 58 FC 2-0 up. But since then, a bit of possession, a bit of territory, and a bit of momentum has helped Wollongong back in this game, and it's a magnificent goal from Lachlan Scott. It's a little bit misleading that about Lachlan, as we see Simonovsky against his former club as well. Had some success at City United in previous years, including their premiership-winning season of 2019. Mayer heads up. Stevenson does well to control the ball initially, then tripped up and wins the free kick for his side. Now that they've got a bit of a sniff, Wollongong, they search for more. That's Littler. The player slipping down on the City United 58 side of halfway. Here's McDonald. Tries to thread the needle. That was a little bit tricky. Couldn't do it on that occasion. It gives United a chance to go forward as Payne can't get on the other side of Kanyazumi, but Chaviro scoops up the loose pickings. They are happy to do these long through balls, City United, hoping to catch the back four just a little bit unawares. They do have some quick men, especially the likes of Jordan Roberts and Patrick Antelmi up front. Well, Roberts has a wing back, Antelmi a centre forward. Here's Darcy Madden. Back to McDonald, who swings a daring ball into the area. Leroy Jennings went up for it. Stevenson then pokes the ball back into the area. And despite the best efforts of Leroy Jennings, doesn't really lead anywhere. And United able to clear away once more, but they're under a fair bit of defensive duress at the moment, the visitors. After having things pretty much their own way in the first 20 or 25 minutes. Duro's thumping clearance that gets the ball out of harm's way. It's Bilic under a little bit of pressure there. He's able to drive it forward only as far as Nick Littler. Madden's there as well. McDonald is deciding to go all the way back. So an enthralling opening 45 minutes, despite the rain, despite the cyclonic conditions at times. 3 goals and 3 pretty classy goals as well. If not with the finish, certainly with the lead-up play. Littler drives forward. Self-known for some worldies. Haven't seen that in recent years for Nick, but I'm sure he'd love to get on the score sheet, but he's trying to do a job at the back for the home side at the moment. Guy Knight. Last 1-2 as Lachlan Scott gets the ball in midfield. And Lachlan's got and drives ambitiously from outside the area. Low and driven hard, but well stopped there by Nizic. Not easy for the goalkeepers in these wet conditions. Very slippery ball. Trefiro in defence now. Roberts and Stevenson tussling, and the ball cleared and aiming for a few of the lads down the front that have to do their best goalkeeping impression and slap the ball away. Stevenson with a throw in. A few minutes left in this first stanza. These goals coming in the last 5 or 10 minutes of halves really can be deal breakers. A goal for Wollongong, and they're back on level peggings, and they're feeling the better of the two sides. Simonovsky goes to McDonald. McDonald to Scott with a low drive again. Hit firmly. That was another good save by Nizic. Sits straight at him, but easy for those balls to spill out. He's shown some real resolve so far this evening. Daniel Nizic. Whereas a goal for Sydney United on the stroke of half-time, all of a sudden after conceding that goal and Wollongong getting a little bit of life, you go to the Sheds 3-1 at the break. It's almost kind of breaking the back of the home side. Flags up for offside against Leroy Jennings. I guess would be remiss of me not to mention Luke Wilkshire and the impact and influence he's had on this Wollongong Wolves setup over the last couple of years. It was announced a couple of weeks ago that Luke will be leaving his post as coach of the Wollongong Wolves, going for an opportunity in the A-League, and certainly don't begrudge a player or a coach or a media personality for going for a bigger, brighter future. But he's born and bred in the Wollongong South Coast region. He played for the Wolves in the old NSL days. He's come back here and took them to the minor premiership in 2019, as well as that famous and much talked about state title when they beat the best of the NPL New South Wales in that final series. Enthralling and thrilling extra time victory. Tarek Mayer goes down and wins a free kick for his side. United finally getting a bit of possession inside the Wollongong half. It's been few and far in between, especially in the last 10 or so minutes, and they did cough up possession. The ball goes forward, a bit of a breakdown there from Wollongong. Goes forward now for Antelmi. Antelmi can't hold on to it and gives Littler a chance to dispossess and then push forward, and now maybe just caught a touch out of position. United having so many bodies forward. Madden back to McDonald. Shapes the pass, then goes forward to Leroy Jennings. It's a tussle there between him and also Picardis in the middle of the park. He gets the better of them, does McDonald. Might fancy himself as he launches from outside and scores a wonder goal. They're back, the Wolves. Daniel Nizic may think that he should have done better with this, but it was a wonderful effort from well outside the area. Just dipped on him, I think, at the last moment. And half volleyed him and into the back of the net. Leroy Jennings, he's been a big signing for Wollongong since he came across from Blacktown City, the former Fijian under-20 international. And he scores another goal for his season tally. And in the back end of this first half, in the last 10 minutes of the half, Wollongong have completely turned this game on their head. They made a slow start. Pretty sloppy in the first quarter of an hour, the home side, but they have come roaring back, the Wolves. It's now 2-2. And United, much like they did last week, opened up a 2-0 advantage against Apia, have kissed away a 2-goal advantage in back-to-back weeks. Bit of composure, bit of resilience needed from the visitors as they try and immediately hit back. Over the top, and Tarek Mayer is onside. He pulls the ball back in the middle. It's almost a third. Great save by Hayden Duros. He had to be on his best behaviour there to keep that one out. As Tarek Mayer combined in the middle with Patrick Antelmi once more. They're scoring goals. United 58. Patrick Antelmi's never too far away. former Wollongong player himself. Scored some cracking goals with Wollongong when he was down here. 2017, 2018, I believe. Hopefully getting my dates right, but definitely did spend some time down here. Did pretty well, Wollongong. They're able to attract some real quality. Payne back in the middle, Trafiro. Eric Mayer. Half-time approaching here. 4 goals in an exciting opening half. It's ebbed and flowed. And Robert's happy to watch this one trickle over the touchline. So 4 wins, 2 draws, 5 defeats for Wolves so far this year. They could come back and win this. It would be huge to gain a 5th win of the season. While Sydney United 58, 3 victories, 2 draws and 6 defeats. 6 defeats from 11 starts, not what they would have wanted. The ball swung into the area, and tell me that hacks at it. And for a moment, I think Hayden Duros thought he was in a little bit of trouble, but didn't get a full chunk of it to the centre forward, and did skew away out of play. Duros with the goal kick. No scoreboard or clock here at Sir Ian McClellan Oval, but you can always tell when we're getting closer to the halftime break as a few patrons slowly start to move their way towards the canteen. Little does well to intercept. Sure, there's going to be that air fryer behind us. That's going to be getting a bit of a workover at halftime, I reckon. I think chips are going to be on the menu. A few of these fans that are doing their best to stay warm. The rain has not eased up at all. Really thought might have lightened somewhat, but that has not happened at all. There's a nice run there through the middle by Sujimura, bouncing off a couple of defenders and then getting away from Trafiro. This is promising from Wollongong. Breaks down. The ball's knocked away, and United able to clear up field as another one of their Japanese imports, Kanyazumi, clears up. And that'll be half-time, certainly inside. conditions continue to hamper this affair, but hasn't dampened the spirits of either of the sets of supporters. 4 excellent goals in the first half. Sydney United 58 to jump out to a 2-0 lead. A double to their star striker, Patrick Antelmi. He hit on 3 minutes, and then a deflected shot around the 20-minute mark. Did give them a 2-0 buffer, but Wollongong, we had not much quality of possession and territory. We were able to bounce back in the latter part of that first half. Lachlan Scott skipping past 3 defenders and driving goal bound on 35 minutes. And then on the stroke of half-time, Leroy Jennings with a wondrous effort from 20 yards outside the area. Swerved and dipped and went away from Nizic to get Wollongong level. They probably just shaded Sydney in terms of who were the better side in the opening 45 minutes, but based on the scorecard, and that's all that matters, it is 2-2 between these two sides. We're desperate to try and salvage 3 points in very tricky conditions. Sujimura tries to link up with Darcy Madden. He does that nicely. Madden swings it all across the face of goal. It falls for Leroy Jennings, and it's a poor effort. He scored one from a similar range, but that time it didn't come for Leroy. Skewed off left foot and ballooned over the fence behind the goal. Northern end of the ground. Sir Ian McClellan, reserve named after the man. Sir Ian McClellan, who was actually the chairman of BHP, so anyone that's not overly familiar, flag is up against United 58. It's not familiar with the South Coast. BHP is a rich part of the history of the Illawarra, history of the South Coast. It has been spoken about much anymore with close downs, money being lost, different things, but because they were the shirt sponsor for the Illawarra Steelers for so long throughout the 80s and 90s, and certainly Ian's impact on Illawarra felt the naming of this oval after the late great man. Sydney United go full. They'll win themselves a corner kick early on. A set piece in the second half. It's back to the edge of the area, pushed away. From there, it's a race down inevitably for United as they drill the ball over the fence into the darkness and the weeds behind. Volunteering for who's going to get that one. One brave soul on the far side, but who's going around to get that? It's just not quite linking up there for Sydney United 58. Zeros to restart play with a goal kick. Tripping ball put up over the halfway line, flicked on, and then back across the face of goal, but just trying to get the ball out of harm's way. Leroy Jennings is there. Falls for Trafiro. He's been busy once more. No movement on the interchange bench as of yet. We don't see anything in the first 45 minutes, but you feel as we get close to that 60-minute mark, there may be a few changes being ushered by these two sides. So United go forward, stretching forward, back to Liverpool goes all the way back to Duros, and Duros clears heartily upfield, up over the halfway line. Down centre back, it's played extensively in Japan. This is a risky ball across the face of goal, but Littler puts him under enormous pressure there. Then Madden's able to get a slight deflection and win a throw-in, so it all works out well for the Wolves in the end. Forward to Lachlan Scott, who's back. Now to Madden, thinks about swinging the ball into the area. He might still do so as he curls it across, but it's intercepted. Only goes as far as Leroy Jennings. Beats one, beats two, and almost was able to pull the trigger and get a third for the Wolves. Would have been his second. He's frustrated with himself, the attacking midfielder. Did well to initially trap the ball, beat a couple of defenders, latched onto it, but harmlessly wide of the goals. 2-2 it remains. Goal. Might have just running through Madden. And it takes a deflection, but it might fall here for Wollongong, and it's going to be buried in by Lachlan Scott, who picks up his second. Sujimura was there, he's not attack across the face of goal, and for about 3 or 4 yards, Lachlan Scott was going to miss out on that. He carries into the back of the net, and from being 2-0 down early in the second half, Wollongong now lead by 3 goals to 2. So 6 minutes into this second half, Lachlan Scott is able to get his second. A double for him on 35 and 51 minutes. Leroy Jennings adding a further goal on 41 minutes, so 3-2 to Wollongong. That double by Patrick Anselmi. The first 20 minutes of this affair is looking like it was a long time ago. 2-0 up to City United. Now 3-2 to Wollongong. They might hit back immediately though. They have a chance as Tarek Mayer links back in, and it goes all the way back in for Trafiro. And Trafiro now links up with Anselmi, pulls back across the base. And picked up by Devante Claude, and Claude's wondrous effort skews off the side of the boot and will go almost all the way out of play on the far side of the field. Did quite skillfully by United 58. Roberts now. The trigger when they were 3 or 4 yards away, and the shot that goes high and wide was probably couldn't even be classified as a shot really. It was that far away from the goals. Looks as if there is going to be a change. Let's immediately after this half-time break. Not wasting any time to try and bring some reinforcements on. Tarek Mayer's coming off, as is Patrick Anselmi, which is a little bit of a surprise, considering Hastag the double and is a constant presence up front. I'll try and confirm those for you. We don't have a fourth official down here, so we have no board, no way of knowing who's actually come on as of yet. I'd say Cole Chimenzi is probably the man that's come into the frontline position. Rams rep, a very skillful player, played at Northbridge Wolves last year in that centre forward role, and he's going to be key as he comes on with 35 or so minutes left in this one. Throwing in here for United, who are just looking to swing momentum, having conceded that third goal. Village with the throw in. Set it nicely by Lachlan Scott. In the first half, it can be sometimes misleading and probably goes against Lachlan Scott sometimes, that he is a bit of a striker, but it's certainly not true. He has got wonderful pace. He's such a strong-bodied player. Sometimes those strikers, those attackers, they fall to the ground. Those players that hold the ball up, but he does have some good pace behind him, as he's shown today. He scored twice, and you feel his evening might not be done. Swung into the area. Madden can't get on the end of it. United 58. Happy to shepherd that over the byline. So funny how games seem to be turned on their head at 2-0. United would have been feeling cock-a-hoop about their chances of maybe getting maximum points, but as it stands, it'll be Wollongong if they want to hold on for a 5th win of the season. Leroy Jennings goes to Darcy Madden inside the area. Challenge from behind. And referee has ruled that it's going to be a corner kick. So final interception coming back by City United 58. But not at a harm's way just yet. This game was originally slated for a 3-o'clock kickoff at Albert Butler Memorial Reserve, but just due to the significant downpour of rain, some of those fields in the south coast are just holding a lot of water. There's been grass surfaces on the official turfs. It's been great now to get on even despite the late 7 o'clock kickoff. Swung in by McDonald from the far side. It's headed away, and he tries to get on the end of it. He does well to poke it in the direction of McDonald, who traps it nicely. And might fancy himself getting on the outside. He can't. It's good defence there Pakatis. Jafiro. Now they try and move themselves forward. Bilic beaten physically there by the much stronger. Blood in the water, Wolves surging onto every player in a black jersey, but United trying to hold them off, trying to swing the momentum of this fixture. I might do it here as they get into an attacking position through Matthew Bilic. Back to Pakatis. Across this pitch at the City United 58 players, and they do just have so much quality. It's, I guess you can point to coaching, points to low morale, low confidence, what's happened so far, but yeah, so much quality throughout the camp in this side that it's beggars belief that they are 3-2-6, 3 wins, 2 draws, 6 defeats, and could potentially be 3-2-7 if they don't find a way to get themselves out of jail here. Look at players like Devante Clut, Yannick Pakatis. It's one of those really consistent quality performers in the midfield. Your Jordan Roberts, and then you've obviously got guys like Patrick Anselmi, Chris Payne, Agent Vastelitza. It's been a tough slog season 2022 for the boys from Adenza Park. Simonovsky is trying to link up as Wollongong to go forward. It's going to be a free kick. That's quite a late whistle from the referee. But the free kick will stand here for the boys in red. And a traditional red and white strip. Kanyazumi, he's been heavily on the ball. Good distribution from Kanyazumi. Played extensively in Japan, but United go forward. The referee is happy with that challenge as Wollongong try and create something, but it ends us as being a ball downfield to get it out of harm's way as Lachlan Scott came back from an offside position. Village now. Through ball. Something nicely there with Devante Clut. Oh, it's a poor back pass and Village couldn't get on it. Probably a breakdown for both. Wasn't a great pass, but Village probably should have moved to that. Now Leroy Jennings swings the ball out to the far side as it's nodded out nicely by Simonovsky, who tries to chip the keeper. Instead, he just lifts the ball into orbit, high and wide of the bar. That would have been a real hammer blow for City United's chances here this evening. They score that 4-2 up. It's a mountain to climb for the visitors. But Simonovsky just lifted their head and so lifted the ball. Payne still out there. It says Chimenti looking to try and feed on some scraps up front. Leroy Jennings across the middle, with the free kick. So very good Leroy Jennings. He would have been chomping at the bit to be involved, having missed that Australia Cup game against Waverley Old Boys. By Knight. Rain still heavily or steadily falling, whichever way you look at it. It hasn't eased up since minute 1, really. Rain picked up on my drive as I was heading down Mount Easley, so I knew it was going to be a wet and soggy affair. Free kick going back the way of City United 58 now. They're not mucking around. They're just looking to reset and restart play as quickly as they can with not their enemies at the moment, but as the game drags on throughout this second half, it does become their enemy later on in proceedings. After a nervy start defensively, Wollongong have really been able to roll down the shutters and have been strong in the centre of the park, and I guess conversely have also been able to add a bit of distribution at the back through Littler and Kanyazumi. So Darcy Madden's been classy on the right side of defence. Here's Trafiro trying to skip past a couple of would-be defenders. There's two of them battling for the ball. No help from the United 58 teammates, though. That's four from the visitors. All kept in play. Good defensive solidarity being shown by the visitors. And ball looked like it might be, and the whistle does go. United fans in attendance not overly enthused with the decision. Free kick just inside their own half. Be 3 wins in a row for Wolves if they can continue on this vein. Take away the first 20 minutes, it's a 3-0 performance, and based on that, they have played like a side that has run roughshod, I guess, over in the last 30 or 40 minutes. Very good indeed. To go forward, and that's 4 here for Sydney United 58. Pressure on the ball initially and headed across field there. Mihal Markic is one of those substitutes that's on in 21. Chimenti feeds out wide. Here's Jordan Roberts. No, in fact, it isn't. It is Roberts on the far side. Thought he'd been subbed off a little bit earlier, but then he rather clumsily gives away a free kick. Tugging on the jersey of Wollongong player. It might have been Senna Stevenson on the far side, the left back for the Wolves. Inside the final half an hour here. Leading by 3-2. So the final round 12 NPL New South Wales fixture. Seen results around the league. Marconi with only 10 men beating Sutherland last night. Sydney FC showing that they're no flash in the pan, and that hasn't been what some fans refer to as a fluke or a bit of good fortune. They destroyed Northbridge Bulls 6-2, who themselves were feeling a little bit confident heading into that fixture. And we had Rockdale going down to Blacktown City earlier this afternoon by 3-0 at Rockdale and Linden Sports Centre. Around, and Guy Knight is there. Haven't called his name too much, but he has been heavily involved once more, Guy. This Wollongong The follow-up is not a good effort from Jordan Roberts, who comes forward and slices the ball wide, but Eden Duros has had probably a bit of a tricky evening in the shot stall, but he comes up with a vital stop there against Chimenti, who I guess shows the class and depth of Sydney United 58, that Cal Chimenti's on the bench when he'd probably be starting for most clubs in this NPL New South Wales competition. Up front there as Leroy Jennings tries to get involved, and he pressures his opposite number quite literally. Fragoyanas, the talented central defender, does get pushed out wide as Jacob Poscaliero comes on. Poscaliero is that man that is on. Coming back from a serious, nasty knee injury as Duros comes out and acrobatically has to punch it out of play. It's a little bit close for comfort for the home side. Yeah, he's come back from a pretty tricky knee injury, Jacob, coming back from the A-League, so it's been his third game back, all appearances off the bench. He's been playing around that kind of 30 to 40 minutes, or 30 to 45 minutes. Handball now against United 58. taken by Hayden Duros. Cleared well upfield, up over the halfway line, but a bit more defence than they probably would have liked Wollongong. Again, headed goal bound by United. Madden is there. And flags up for offside against Milhal Markic on that occasion. Another one of these brigade of young, talented players that we have at our disposal in the NPL New South Wales. We speak glowingly and wax lyrical about experienced players, the guys who've been across playing A-League, or your Chris Paynes that have played in India. Here is Markic with a low drive, and it's a wonderful stop. The follow-up is buried by United, though, and it's 3-3. You can put that down to the effort from outside the area by Milhal Markic, and Chris Payne jogging on the spot, able to bury the chance, and can't say it hasn't been coming. They've had a lot of possession and territory down this end of the park. Have Sydney United 58, and of course Chris Payne will be the man to pull them level. Midway through this second half, it's 3-3 now. 6-goal thriller so far, and you feel that's not going to be the last say that either of these two sides have in this contest. Markic with a wonderful left from outside the box. Duros did well to stop it. He couldn't hold on to it due to the force of the shot. And Chris Payne driving home gleefully to make it 3-3. Go forward to United with confidence to boot, and now Jordan Roberts surges onto a lovely through ball. Can he create something? Pulls it back across the middle, fended somehow away by Wollongong, but only as far as Yanni Bakatis. Payne tries to slide it down low, and then we see an ambitious effort from outside the area. Will win another set piece, another corner here for City United 58. They've been injected with some real enthusiasm and intent. Now the visitors would conceded 3 straight goals before that strike by Chris Payne gets them back onto level peggings. Swung into the area, headed away initially, but only as far as Vlastelica. The shot is parried away though. Vlastelica then has a second effort. It's not quite as convincing as his first. And as well over the goal and well over the back signage. And a goal kick here for Wollongong. End-to-end stuff this game. It has been explosive. It's always good affairs when these two sides meet, as Peter Simonovsky is making his way off, and Quat Mallet is going to make his way onto the pitch. I do hope that I am pronouncing Quat's name correctly. It's the first game seeing Quat in person. So Quat Mallet coming on as the substitute. And again, one of those players that has all sorts of flair and brings some energy to this side as well. Acrobatic striker that will cause some problems. You get some quality ball. Here's Chris Payne on the edge of the area. Back to the middle to Yanni Bakatis. Now goes to Bilic, who swings it across. Duros goes up and plucks the ball out of the sky. Confidently done. A couple of vital interceptions has the Wollongong goalkeeper. Bilic and Lachlan Scott doing battle. Might just fall here for Darcy Madden, who, in fact, that's Simonovsky, who does well to be the first couple of defenders. They're playing advantage as Lachlan Scott skips past one defender and then tries to link up here with Leroy Jennings on the edge of the area. Jennings goes to Sujimura. Sujimura back across the middle, and Mallet almost straight away with his first touch was almost able to deflect that goal bounce. It could be a corner for the Wolves. Simonovsky still slow to his feet. It was a strong challenge as he looked to have taken a boot to the shin area. He's looking to run it off now. Experienced centre forward, wouldn't he love to score one against his former club as well? pivotal in that 2019 campaign. He sees the goal scoring opportunity, so he hobbles into the area. Corner swung in, Mallet heads, but he can't get anything on it. And the ball's hacked towards the middle. Appeal for handball. Referee says no, there was no touch. And United 58 clear up field. And then a little bit lackadaisical there was Guy Knight, and almost fell for United, and he just has to knock the ball into touch. So they go from a goal scoring opportunity to United getting possession in the final third. Here's Jordan Roberts. He's been bright in this second half, and eventually dribbles its way into the path of Duros. Is happy to clean up at the back. It really is anyone's game at the moment. 3-3. 2 goals in the second half after 4 in the first. United look the better of the two sides, especially in this second stanza, but we know Wollongong have got the players up front, especially now that Mallet's come on, because they did substitute off centre Stevenson, a left back. So taking off a left back to bring on a centre forward, and Guinan, who's a left back, has been caught out of position. Roberts pulls back on the inside. Roberts hits the crossbar and bounces away. Luck not on the side of the right back on that occasion. As he hit it with great conviction as it crashed against the woodwork. Inches away from giving United the lead. In fact, the United fans just to the left of our broadcast position, they were already going up. They thought it was in the back of the net. Thankfully for the Wollongong Wolves and Hayden Duros, it clattered off the woodwork and bounced away. 3-3 it remains. We feel that United, it's only a matter of time until they add this fourth goal. Wollongong looking, well, let's see, at the back. Ever since Guy Knight has gone to that left back position, normally a central midfielder, but playing that left back after that substitution to bring another attacker on. You love to see it from a coach. Love to see that attacking style of football, but at the moment it might be the Achilles heel for Wollongong here this evening. Towards the final quarter of an hour of proceedings. The miscommunication as United are able to link up here nicely. Pressure coming for them as Payne skipped through. Flags up for offside though. But Jordan Roberts, Chris Payne and Kyle Chimenti, it's a three-pronged attack, isn't it? They are just causing all sorts of headaches for this Wollongong defensive line. Simonovsky's down again. He needs a bit of treatment on that injured shin that he picked up only a couple of minutes ago, the other end of the park. The week just gone in Australia, around the world, was a National Volunteers Week, and it would be remiss of me not to bring up the wonderful volunteers everywhere around football grounds. We're not just talking about the NPL New South Wales or the NPL women's competition or the League One competition. We're talking all around Australia and all around New South Wales. Volunteers are the ones that get the ball rolling, quite literally, and keep clubs running, from presidents to secretaries to the mums and dads in the canteens to the very keen dads and uncles and brothers and sons that line out the markings before the 8 o'clock games on Saturdays and Sundays. We want to honour you and tip our cap to you in National Volunteers Week. It's a wonderful way to celebrate wonderful people, and also in Football New South Wales as well. There's some wonderful people that we see that are constantly volunteering of their time and their resources to make the game of football even better than it currently is. Nicholas Duarte has come on in 14, so Peter Simonovsky succumbing to that shin injury we saw from a couple of minutes ago. We've seen Nicholas probably sparingly in the NPL. We've seen him a bit more regularly in the Australia Cup campaign, but he has come up with some really bright touches when he's come off the bench in the NPL New South Wales. He bagged a hat-trick actually down this grounds in the 4th preliminary round victory for the Wollongong Wolves. So it's a ground that he enjoys playing at. He would love to, I'm sure, score just one goal if it meant Wollongong get the victory here this evening. Again on the counter-attack. They surge forward United through Matthew Billage. Madden misses there as the flag will go up once more. Markic is the guilty party on this occasion. It's been 2 or 3 those offsides in the last 10 or so minutes. In possession and territory stats, it's all Sydney United 58 in this second half. They looked all at sea at 3-2. That third goal. And then if you think if Simonovski buries that one-on-one chance, which he unfortunately lifted over the bar if you're a Wolves fan, 4-2, it might have been good night, but since then, a third goal. And we're deadlocked again at 3-3. United looking the better of the two sides as Chris Payne tries to link up with Chimenti. Nahal Markic was in there as well. And then a strong challenge. We'll see a card here. Will Markic is going to go into the book. So yellow card for Nahal Markic. Darcy Madden is just stretching out the calves. Even though it is an artificial turf, it still gets sodden, it still gets heavy like any field would with this deluge of rain. So don't be surprised to see a few more players start to cramp up a little bit in this final quarter of an hour. Thrown by Wollongong. Mallet isn't able to poke this one where he wants to. Instead pokes it out of play and into touch. Sujimura links up nicely. A rare opportunity in the final third here for Wollongong, as unfortunately Leroy Jennings can't skip past the last line of defence, and United have it. They'll retain it through this throw in. Drilled upfield. It's going to be a bit of a foot race here. Littler tries to get back and does want to get his foot on the ball, and then with his left foot punch it up the field here for Wollongong. And then a free kick going the way of Wollongong once more. Leroy Jennings can get things rolling quite literally pretty quickly, but again it's intercepted by United, who have looked very, very good in the back so far this evening. Well, at least in the second half, pardon me. It didn't look so great in the back end of the first half, but apart from that third goal they conceded in the early stages from Lachlan Scott, they have looked concrete at the back. Stelitzer. A bit of room to run, and he tries to poke forward. It might fall here for Matthew Billich, who's got the close attention of Darcy Madden. He thunders into the shoulder of the wing back for Wollongong, and out of play. Too much time remaining for either of these sides to pull something out of the fire, as we won't be long before we get into the final 10 minutes. Free kick going the way of Wollongong. Based on the balance of play in the first and second half combined, a draw probably a fair result, but football's not always fair, is it? Sport isn't always fair, so it could be someone to come up with a magic moment to steal the game away. I'm sure Sydney United 58 still have pretty painful memories of what transpired last Sunday. They conceded a 95th minute goal. It'll be more painful this week if they conceded a late one. Littler gets up and heads forward to Leroy Jennings. Poked forward by Darcy Madden, forward to Mallet. No problems with the challenge, says the referee, and Chris Payne tries to link up with Jordan Roberts. Jordan Roberts with a wonderful strike, but wonderfully kept out there by Hayden Duros, and eventually it does find its way behind for a corner kick. He has been lightning Jordan Roberts this evening. Was involved in the first half, but will go up for this corner kick. Former Sutherland Shark youth player has been superb. There with player of the match type stuff for Jordan this evening. Cleared away by Kanyazumi. And Payne is involved there with Kanyazumi taking just a little bit of a knock there from experienced centre forward. Continue just to probe and try and work themselves into a position here, Sydney United 58. Well, eventually going behind for a goal kick, much to the frustration of United. So inside the final 10 minutes by our watch, and there might be a chance for them to steal it. What was that? Chris Payne probably wants that one back again. That one would be critical of an effort, doing far better than what I could do. But just didn't seem to put the designated power behind it, or the desired power. Might fall again as Kanyazumi under pressure. He links forward, and Wollongong finally have a chance to maybe attack. They link up a crossfield here with Darcy Madden, and then headed away by Mihal Mahic. And it will be a throw in here for Wollongong. Mahic just doing a bit of show and tell there to the linesman. And Wollongong have the ball deep inside Sydney United 58 territory. It's been few and far in between for them down here in the second half, hasn't it? You see a long throw in. Kind of long, it's headed away. Mallet was looking down and the ball completely evaded the substitute forward. And now Kyle Chimenti chips in behind. Lovely speed and vision being shown by the centre forward. Skips around Littler with a challenge, goes down in the area, penalty for Sydney United. Wollongong stay quiet. Littler professes his innocence. As he was going back, would have to have a second look at it to try and cast judgment. And what a golden opportunity as we head towards the final 5 minutes of regulation for Sydney United 58 FC to take a lead late on. It's going to be Chris Payne, the veteran, looking for the leader, and he drills it high into the roof of the net. And Sydney United go bang bang, 2 goals after they were down 3 goals to 2. They now lead by 4 goals to 3 late on. Pressure being dialed up for Wollongong. You feel it's only fair given the amount of possession and territory they've had in this final attacking third at Wollongong's end of the park. It was the penalty. Nick Littler, the guilty party, and Chris Payne drills it high and handsome into the roof of the net. And now Wollongong have to score to try and get something out of this. Payne getting his second. Double for him, a double for Anselmi. And could this be the first time since the 3rd of April that Sydney United 58 will be tasting victory in the NPL New South Wales competition? They're not saying that yet, the visitors, as they have to deal with an awkward-looking free kick that always was headed beyond the goalkeeping efforts there of Daniel Nizic, who did well to keep it out, despite the effort there of Nicholas Duarte, who was getting forward. Chase it down, Wollongong, they've got to get possession, they've got to try and get up the other end of the park. That's the difficult moment for them as they try and link up here. The Mallet showing good pace to get into the area. This looks promising. His attempted cross is blocked and goes back to the edge of the area for McDonald. And I haven't spoken of too much in this second stanza. Sujimura drills it wide here to Darcy Madden. And it looks to skip past Mahic. And Markic puts it behind. It will be a corner kick. So another set piece opportunity late on in this fixture. Is there one final twist or turn in this contest? 7 goals. 4 in the first, 3 in the second. swung in by McDonald, looking to head a goal bound. It falls for Leroy Jennings. Jennings then goes the other way. Leroy Jennings fires it, takes the deflection off a United player, and then Littler misses out. And now we see Guy Knight with an ambitious strike. Ambitious as being kind as he tries to launch from 30 yards. It skews off the side of the boot and into touch. That's not what Wollongong needed. Clock and time is certainly the enemy of the home side. They found themselves down 2-0 inside the first 20 minutes, a double to Patrick Antelmi. Defensive error at the back led him to knock home on 3 minutes, and then on 19 minutes a deflected effort ballooned past Hayden Duros into the back of the net to make it 2-0, but then from there on in it was all Wollongong as they gained a bit of possession. 3 unanswered goals to take a 3-2 lead early in the second half. That's United 58 FC. They've replied with a couple of their own to lead 4-3, with time slowly expiring. And City United obviously taking their time as well as they try and soak up and eat up any of these final seconds that they can. Outside the area, launched there by Chris Payne. It doesn't quite work out for him as it's deflected away, but they still have possession, the visitors. Bilic all curled into the area, away as Leroy Jennings battles with Jordan Roberts, and Roberts tries to find a link man, but now we see Mallett away. Mallett with an opportunity to go one-on-one, pushes himself quite wide, and then a wonderful challenge. It all just broke down for the youngster there. Heavy touch and was pushed out wide. Great defence by United. We've got an injury back on halfway. The referee's just going to call a halt to proceedings, and it will be a throw-in for Wollongong. Get to eyes on the player that is down. Physio's out. Final instructions being run out by Mayor Vlastelica. He'd be happy if Vlastelica with what he's seen from his side. I guess defensively, when you concede 3 goals, you're never over the moon, but when you haven't won in 6 games, 5 losses and a draw, could be a big moment. There is a bit of concern. It might be Glenn Shafiro that is down. A fair bit of discomfort in the middle of the park. A few Wollongong Wolves players along with the referee standing around as a couple more officials come on. In fact, it's Poscaliero that is the man down. Sorry, my apologies for the mistake on that, and he is walking with a heavy limp. He's been injured recently, Jacob, so you don't like to see this. It's great that he can walk off unassisted, but it does look like, yeah, it is that lower leg limping, perhaps groin or abductor injury. I'm not going to speculate on that. It's not my job to, but he's taken off regardless, so they're going to bring a sub late on. It might be Anthony Tomilich, I think, that's come on for United 58 FC in jumper number 5. Throw in here for Wollongong. Could be one of their last throws of the dice as Leroy Jennings launches it in there. Madden heads it towards goal. It falls now for McDonald. McDonald launches into the area, bounces up, and it's comfortably evaded, I guess is the word you could use for Nizic, as he's happy to let it bounce over the byline. Will just be victory number 4 for Sydney United 58 if they can hold on. It's been a very tough run. The players would mean so much if they could hold on away from home against a Wollongong Wolves side that has momentum and strung together a couple of back-to-back wins. never easy to win down here, whether it's Wynn Stadium, Albert Butler, or Sir Ian McClellan Oval. Would certainly make the drive back to Denza Park or Fairfield West, Fairfield, wherever the boys are living. Very, very enjoyable as Mallet looks to flick this one on for Lachlan Scott, but back there in defensive duties is Yanni Fragoyanas, who's been a very solid central defender. They'll look to try and launch one more attacking raid that for them hopefully brings forth a fourth goal. But United have the ball back and they might ice this here if they get half a sniff. They don't, as it's knocked away and picked up by Leroy Jennings back in a defensive midfield role. He looks to combine with Mallet acrobatically with Blastelita. That was wonderfully done. I think it just was the studs that knocked the ball away, but it did its job, and now a ball swung out wide for Markic. Bilic running through. Markic doesn't want him. He goes to the centre to Chris Payne. And Payne beats a couple of defenders, but is tripped up. And the ball knocked away, and this is actually going to go out of play. We're going to say throw in. It is going to be a throw in the way of Wollongong, but they're at the wrong end of the pitch. Drive up towards the halfway line.